What's up, guys? It's your boy Jamaica here, coming at you with another episode of our Penny Dreadful Master Series, where we look back at some of the top decks of our past and our present. And this is going to be the start of the Season 4 deck tech of Mono White Heroic from Littlefield. Um, so this deck was always kind of a thing. It was kind of in the shadows. It started all the way back in Season 2 with one of the cards that I didn't really mention in Season 2 was really interesting was Mother of Runes. That was legal. It's weird. You kind of thought that would have been a top deck, and it was a very annoying card, but it was very like fair in certain ways. And that was a feature card in this kind of deck, and I kind of like put together Mono White Heroic. Um, yeah, I'm gonna jump out to Season 2, just got a little blurb. So I wanted people to play tournaments because when the tournaments first started, like no one had an idea of anything. So I put up a bunch of lists. I put a bunch of lists out, which I never really do. I usually just do deck techs like one at a time, but I put like 5 lists out. One of them was a Mono White Heroic list with like it was like Mother of Runes and a bunch of really efficient enchantments and creatures, heroic creatures. They're all really good. And yeah, Littlefield kind of like took that and kind of like took that into Season 2. And even in Season 3, it was a deck too. It actually beat me one of the Tournament of Champions lists. I was playing a mono blue deck. I was playing mono blue morph. That's another story for the time. You can look at YouTube for that. But yeah, Littlefield just kind of beat me on turn 3 with a crazy amount of spells, and then kind of like leaked over to Season 4. Eventually, Littlefield would kind of keep tuning this list and created such a monster that it dominated once again. If you've been following this episode series, I've been talking a lot about Gatling and how it's kind of half the format, sort of net deck sort of culture, and they really gravitate towards the aggressive decks. And this was one of the best aggressive decks I've ever seen in this format in any season. Really, it's very resilient and it's very quick. Because first of all, the curve ends at 3, like you see, hit right here, and everything's a 1 and a 2, and everything is just like so cheap. From like favorite hoplite, Lagomai and Trailblazer were the 1-drops of choice. And then you had just a slew of just like 1-mana spells. Cartouche was a big ad for this particular season because this is when Monkey was legal. So Cartouche was really big because it was a spell that targeted a creature and also made another creature, so edict effects weren't as good. And it gave like pumped abilities. It's crazy. Divine Strike was a cantrip that also just pumped a little bit. And Merchant Scathe and Rebound. It has Rebound and it protects too, as long as God's willing. Also, kind of just like more protection spells. Launch a fleet. Like you basically had a big, army of creatures, cheap creatures, and launch was really good. Also triggered heroic for each creature. Griff Spoon. Take it to the skies. You would have like gigantic creatures and just lift them up in the air and just kind of kill you with it. Basically, another heroic guide, just like good overall. Secret of the Way wasn't heroic, but had prowess. It was another annoying card. Ordeal was ways to beat the mirror, another mono red matchups or other aggressive matchups. You would just gain 10 life and just kind of stall the board. And Fable Heroes, just he's double strike. This guy was nuts. And one of the thing is about this deck is that it was just so good, and it was so good against the hate cards. One of the natural predators was a Monoblock Vampires list, or just Monoblock in general, because it had like really hater cards. So most of the sideboard here is geared towards Monoblock and Devout Lightcaster and White Knight. These are just some pro black creatures that are hard to deal with. Edicts were the only one really deal with it. Steel Cleansing, more launches, and Shrine the Loyal Legions. That was another like really annoying card against this deck. This deck was so dominant that I didn't even include another Season 4 list. There were many other like selections that could have been to Season 4. There were vampires. There's Baker T's Mono Black Aristocrats list was really good, but he was the only one that really played it well. And the thing about this list is that it was just so widely popular. Like I said, in the spectrum of Gathering. At this point, we had 3 Gathering tournaments. We did a Sunday, Monday, and a Thursday one. So, or maybe we just did 2. I think like the Monday ones kind of dropped off because I think Tiny Tim kind of moved on like halfway through the season. So we had a Sunday and a Thursday, and this deck just dominated every tournament. You would see, I would do tournament reports, and I'd see this list pop up 3, 4, 5 times, five placings sometimes in the tournament. That was nuts. I've never seen that in all my time in Penny Dreadful. So this list was quite the monster, and Littlefield definitely won at least like 5 or 6 tournaments. I couldn't even keep track. I was just like, Littlefield wins again. I was so annoyed by it, but it was great, and this was a great deck. So Littlefield gets a shout here. So that's gonna wrap up for this episode of our Paint Trails Master Series. In the next episode, we're gonna come into season 5, and we're gonna talk about just how season 5 ended up and where we are right now. So thank you guys for watching. Catch you next episode.